So here's something you don't see every day. My God, let me out, let me out, let me out. They're killing me. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog. It is Monday, December the 9th, 2024, and it's vlog number 387. So let's jump right into what I have been working on. Now, these are things that I've been working on over the last week, and I'll be talking about them in a little bit more detail on the Idiot Quilter because that's what we do on the Idiot Quilter. And here is the first item. It's all completely done. You have seen it before it got quilted, but it is now quilted. It is bound, and this is a pattern from Stephanie Stitches called Christmas Tree Table Runner. And it's an easy design, goes together really quick, and this is one of those gifts that I think I've mentioned before. It would be great if you need a last-minute Christmas gift because you've been invited out to a fabulous party. Not something we ever get. Okay, I'm not bitter. And let's see what it's on here. Oh, yeah, okay. I have to check this. I thought there was only one of these to do, but this is for the Barnstar sampler that I have been working on, and I love and hate it at the same time. This is the second block in the quilt, and you know, I've made two already that are this size. This is a big block. This is like about 18 inches. No, it's more than that. It's 24 and a half, something like that. It's huge. It's huge. A lot of pieces, a lot of cutting, a lot of time to make sure all your intersections are meeting up. This one came out successfully. I am happy about that. But yesterday on the live, I was informed that people said they thought there were two of these that you had to make. Yeah, okay. Well, whatever. But it's done, and I'll talk more about why I was having problems with this, or almost had problems with it tomorrow on Idiot Quilter. And I just finished up this guy. He is the Mouse King. It's an in the hoop project. Again, more about this on the Idiot Quilter tomorrow. But right now, I'm really happy with the way he turned out, but there were some problems with the instructions. And so I have written a note off to the company to let them know, because this is a company that I deal with all the time. I love their designs, and I'm lucky that I'm an experienced machine embroiderer, because if I was not, those set of instructions would have really thrown me for a loop. We'll see if we get a reply back from them about that. I don't know if they're going to acknowledge what I've said or just think I'm some kind of crank. And they might not be that far off the mark, you know what I mean? But anyways, he's big. He's about 3 feet in length. And I just hung him up this morning as part of my Christmas decor in my front foyer. So I am pleased with him, but he took a while. Took basically 2 days to make. Yeah. And when you get into this kind of stuff with your embroidery machine, you will find it will eat up a lot of your time. So if you're not prepared to do that, don't get into it. That's all I can say. But I love doing it, as you well know. Okay, so that's what I've been working on. I've also been working on some development of some blocks for two, yes, count them, two future patterns that I am writing, and those will not be available to you for free. They will be free. I do not sell my patterns until the new year, sometime, you know, I'm figuring probably into about March or something like that. We'll see how that goes. But when they are done, when I'm happy with the patterns and everything, I will put them up on my Google Drive and put a link in my show notes, and they'll be available for you, but not until the spring, probably. But meanwhile, if you've never done one of my patterns, there are two of my patterns already there in the show notes. They're absolutely free. No catch. I give them to you. Yep, I'm not a business. I'm just very happy. If it makes you happy, I'm happy. You can download those. So let's take a look at the YouTube channel of the week. And this is kind of interesting. 25 things everybody knows that are false. And you know, in this day and age of the internet, everybody has lots of facts they just freely share, don't they, on the internet? Yeah, to the point where it's getting very difficult for us to determine what's real and what's not. And if you sound convincing enough, you can make anybody believe anything you want them to believe. So check this video out because I found it quite entertaining as well. And I learned a lot. This week's YouTube video is called 25 Things Everybody Knows That Are False. And this is really quite interesting. There are a lot of things that we take as common knowledge, and actually we are wrong about them. And this video dispels the myth around certain things, like that Twinkies will last forever, or some other very interesting facts as well. So if you want to check your knowledge about how truthful certain things you may already think are true are, then you'll want to check out this video called 25 Things Everybody Knows That Are False. So the link for that video will be in the show notes below, as are other interesting things. So do check out the show notes because I list quite a few different things there, like how to get a hold of me, the Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen, which happens every Wednesday. There is a link for that. It's a Zoom link. All are welcome. There is a link to all my friends' channels as well, and you should be checking them out, especially this time of the year, because they're doing special vlogmases every day as well. And we talked about this yesterday on Stephen and Walter Live, and if you missed it, there's a link for that in the show notes as well. But if you did miss that, we talked about, you know, the number of unboxings that are out there and the number of advent calendars, and it's a little overwhelming. You could spend your whole day, every day until Christmas Day, watching nothing on YouTube but Christmas, Advent, box, whatever you want to call them, unboxings on there. So there are tons. It's overwhelming, actually, how many there are. And speaking of that, Stephanie and I are doing our unboxing. We've already put up the video. It went up last week, last Thursday, for the first 5 days of the Missouri Star Quilt box. And yes, I know there are other creators out there that have been opening one gift each day from that box. But we decided that we were doing it together, which makes it a little bit unique because we share our ideas about how we feel about each of the items, and we rate them as well. But we share it together. We have a lot of fun with it. And I think our unboxing is a little bit more entertaining than some. You know, you get some that go, oh, what's in here? Yay. Oh, look, isn't that lovely? Wow. Wonder what that would cost. Okay, see you tomorrow. Yeah, ours aren't like that. So there's a link for the first 5 days because that's gone up. The next 5 days, which are items days 6 to 10, go up tomorrow at 8 o'clock. There is a link in the show notes for that one, but if you click it today, if you click it on any day that comes before the 10th, you know what I mean, you won't see anything. So don't be writing me an email saying that the link doesn't work. The link will not go live until 8 o'clock, December the 10th, 2024. And then you'll be able to get in and see those days. And that's the way it's going to work from here on in up to Christmas Day. Okay, and I've already mentioned Stephen and Walter Live. There's also last week's vlog if you missed it. There's a link for that. And last week's Idiot Quilter episode. And last week's So Chatty as well is there. And yeah, on So Chatty, we have now finished our 3-part series on putting together a freestanding lace, freestanding applique. All that's done. And we're moving on to some other things. Now, we are looking for suggestions for series. And what I mean by series is not one-offs, things that we can do in one session. We want something that we can build on, things that are a little bit more complex. We have some ideas. For example, we're talking about showing you how to do an in-the-hoop tote bag on your embroidery machine. And Walter is possibly going to do a sort of a tutorial, maybe I'll do it with him, on how he makes his bags, and he makes his bags not in the hoop. I do that more. He does it the old-fashioned way, but if you've never seen one of Walter's bags, well, we'll be showing some of those coming up because he makes beautiful bags with it. The detail is incredible in his bags. I think right now he's working on a couple of wine tote bags as Christmas presents for people. So yeah, and we have some other things planned as well, but we need more ideas. So if you've got some, please share them in the comment section below, or just send me an email with it. And we may not use it like at all, but it gives us sometimes ideas that we can build upon for it. So yeah, so it keeps our imaginations running. So all of those good things are in the show notes below. Okay, so let's take a look at the weather outside, shall we, today? Well, I was really hoping that we would get rid of some of our snow because I'm not a fan. I used to be a fan, loved it when I was a kid, but not so much now. And we have gotten rid of some of our snow. We've been having cold temperatures, but the last couple of days it's warmed right up. And in fact, right now it's -2, and that's somewhat balmy here. And I'm talking in Celsius. Okay, so that's essentially -4, 30, that's about 30 degrees, to 20, no, yeah, about 30 degrees, 28, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. I don't know. Which, you know, by our standards in Canada, that is not cold. But anyways, this is what's looking like out there. Sun's not up yet. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark out. Yeah, the long dark days of winter, I guess, are upon us. Even though officially winter does not start. The winter solstice is not till December 21st. So we're technically still in fall. Yeah, don't look like fall to me. But anyways, that's the kind of day we're having. And if I just check the weather app and see what they're predicting, I wonder if we're getting any more snow. Well, what we got? Today it's supposed to rain. 85% chance. Wait, this doesn't make a lot of sense. My watch says we're at -2. It says that in Toronto it's 3 with a high of 4. I don't know. This never seems to coordinate with what my watch says, but my watch is getting its information, I thought, from the same source. Interesting. Of course, mind you, I have it set for Toronto. I don't have it set for Oshawa. Let's go for Oshawa, where I live. Oh, yeah, that's a little better. It's warmer in Toronto, closer to the lake. We are -2, as I said, with a high of 3. They say it feels like -9, though. And oh, okay, this is not rain today. We have an 80% chance of snow. Okay. But tomorrow's supposed to rain, 70% chance. And Wednesday it's supposed to rain, 75% chance. And the temperatures are going up. And they're going down. And then they're going up. But then I don't know. I don't know. I just hope that we do not have a huge snowstorm on Christmas Day, because that is when we are leaving for the States on Christmas Day. And the piece of highway that we have to go to get to where we want to go on the first day here in Ontario is a really bad stretch of highway if there is a snowstorm. And we're going to be crossing over at Windsor, not at Buffalo, because Buffalo, oh my God, no, in the wintertime, they get more snow than we do, which is weird, but it all has to do with the Great Lakes, you know, lake effect, as we call it. So we're going down through Windsor because that's usually a little better if there is a snowstorm, but not until we get down to Kentucky are we, you know, pretty much out of snow or the threat of it, I think. But who knows, with climate change, things are really screwy these days, aren't they? Yeah. Well, speaking of screwy, let's have some coffee and let's talk about charities, shall we? Now, if you've been a regular subscriber to my channel, you have heard me talk about charities before, and you probably have the idea that I'm a bit of a Grinch because I don't usually have a whole lot of good things to say about most charities. And I don't want to, I wish I did have better things to say, but the more I do research into a lot of charities, the more I find that what we give to a charity and we think is going to do a lot of good for things, a lot of that money never sees where it should be going or where we're told it's going. A lot of it goes into administration. Huge amounts go into administration. If you, yeah, so you don't see there. If you give things to thrift stores have become big businesses. My idea, maybe I am completely wrong about this, but my idea has always been that if you're donating something, a gently used item, I don't believe in donating crap to thrift stores. I mean, if it looks like it should be in a dumpster, then it should be in a dumpster, not on the shelves, not take it down to your local thrift store and give it to that. Thrift stores in my mind are set up to help out those people who are not as fortunate maybe as I am, that, they are on a fixed income or they have little income, that kind of thing. And it gives them an opportunity to buy something that they can afford, that they need. But that isn't the way it works, it seems, these days, at least the charities around me. No, they're big businesses. Value Village, which is a big charity here in Ontario, and there's one about a mile away from me. Their stuff used to be reasonably priced. People could go in there and buy things ridiculously cheap. You could go in and get some clothing, clothing that was in really great shape, many times high quality clothing, for pennies on the dollar. Not anymore. Well, why is that? Well, a lot of people are into vintage clothing these days, and these charities figured this out, and so they upped the prices. Well, that just put the people that I was mentioning before on lower incomes out of the market. They need clothes, okay? Decent clothes as well. Winter is here in our area. They need something warm as well. But if they can't afford it, if they have to choose between buying a new winter coat and food, wow. Freeze to death or starve to death. Really. But I'm starting to digress here a little bit. What I want to talk about is how charities are harassing us at this time of the year. Yes, I consider it harassment. I do not like walking into a store and having to pass by people standing there basically with their hand out looking for donations, i.e., Salvation Army is one of them. Now, I could do a whole thing on Salvation Army and why I do not support the Salvation Army, but I'm not going to go there with that right now. If you support the Salvation Army and you've had good experiences, then that's great. You continue doing you. But for me, no. Also, they don't like my kind of people. And when I say that, I mean the LGBTQ community. They are not supportive. So they discriminate. Yeah, they discriminate. But again, I'm digressing. But the other day we went into Walmart. We seldom go into Walmart because, well, that's a world that's very different from the world we are in. If you've ever seen the People of Walmart videos on YouTube. Yeah, scary. Anyways, we're walking in the front entrance. There's a cop car with the lights going and a fire truck. We walk in the front door and there is a lineup of a couple of police officers and a couple of firefighters, and they've got a basket out there or whatever, and they've got a big sign. They're doing a toy drive. But they'd much rather have money to buy toys. Why am I doing bunny ears? Besides the fact it's fun. Because I question what they're doing. Now, okay, if you've got someone in your family that's a member of those services, and I'm not crapping on those services. We need them. It's a hard job. I wouldn't want to do their work. But at this time of the year, they're just like every other charity out there. They want you to give. And I'm not really sure if I give them cash, is that cash going to buy toys, or is some of that going to buy toys and some of it is covering administration? There's the bunny ears. Administration charges. I don't know. But they're standing there. These are big lads in their full uniforms, the whole bit. And they're pleasant. Hi, how are you? We're doing a drive. You don't want to go in that store until you give us something. We need something. Shake them down, bud. That's the way you feel. And then, of course, all of these charities, when you're walking into, oh, let's see, the sin shops, as they call them, liquor stores. Oh, don't they love to stand outside of liquor stores, wine stores, that kind of stuff, or any place that sells liquor, because liquor is not a necessity of life, you know. And if you have money to buy a bottle of wine or a case of beer or whatever, beverage of your choice, then you could afford to give some money to charity, couldn't you? Really, it's only the cost of, one bottle of wine or something like that. Guilt. Or they're standing outside of Starbucks or any other coffee shop. For the price of one coffee, you could help starving millions. I question that. But, of course, the prices of coffee at Starbucks, maybe. But, and you feel guilty if you don't give. And it's a form of harassment. It really is. You can put advertisements on YouTube, and they do. You can put advertisements on TV, and they do. You can have a 1-800 number that you can call, then they do. And we're bombarded throughout the year by these charities as well, but at Christmas time especially, because they know they're playing on our emotions. Because Christmas time, aren't we all just a little bit more friendly to each other? And aren't we just filled with a little bit more love and compassion for humankind? I think I just threw up a little bit in my mouth when I said that. Okay, yes, I am a Grinch. Okay, I am a Grinch. I do believe that, for the most part, these charities are helping in some way. I don't think they're helping in as big a way as they like to pretend that they are, but charity starts at home as well. Like, I'm a pensioner. I'm an old person. Yes, I have a good pension. Yes, I do not have any debts. That was all a lot of planning over the years and everything for that. So I am comfortable. But every charity that I've ever dealt with has screwed me over. And if you saw Stephen and Walter live yesterday, you heard a little bit more about that as well. So yeah, I'm tainted. Now I know you're going to say, you shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't feel like that. One bad apple doesn't blah, blah, blah. Yeah, one bad apple does. Let's get over that, shall we? Let's be real. If you have the money and you feel the inclination and you want to donate at this time of the year to a charity of your choice, more power to you. Great. You do you. Okay? But I don't feel the urge. Well, that's not completely true. I have some. But these ones that are harassing me at Walmart or at the liquor store or at the coffee shop or whatever, get away. Just, as Walter would say, go away. Just go away. Yeah. So, Merry Christmas. Moving on. Okay. So, grow lights. Yes. Well, I give you an update on them every week. Oh, that's kind of a nice picture. Let me show you. That's lettuce. Okay, there's one dead leaf there. I need to pluck that off. And it looks like we've got some more lettuce coming up in one of the other pots. I'm not sure if there's anything in the other two. I think Walter said he hasn't figured out what he's going to put in the other two. Maybe I should have taken the little bug catcher out of the pot before I took the picture. But it's a reality. There's more of those bug catchers, and there's more lettuce and basil. And we have been eating it. Yes, and growing more. There's some little thingies here coming up, and I think those are pepper plants. And Walter is starting the pepper plants under these grow lights, and then he's moving them into the big grow light. So here's our pepper plants, and they're coming along really nicely. Now, they take a long time. You've heard me say it before. They take about 3 months, 80 days to, really start having like peppers on them. And we'll see if we're going to get decent peppers or not. Walter's doing this differently this year. He's putting individual ones into larger pots, because last year when we were doing these, we had them too crowded. So we're spreading them out. And I think that's primarily all we're going to have under this set of lights are peppers. Because you know what the price of peppers are like in the grocery store right now. The other day I was in a place called Farm Boy. Now, mind you, it is a little bit more of a higher end, or they try to be, grocery store in our area. But I think on the sign I saw it was $4.99 a pound. Is that a pound or a kilogram? No, that was a pound, I think. In Canada, when you go to a grocery store, you can be very confused by our prices. Some signs will have things by the pound. Some things will be by the kilogram. Sometimes you see both, sometimes none. Yeah, it can get very, very confusing. If you're not a Canadian, if you're not used to the hybrid metric imperial system of measurement, weights, and whatever, and that kind of thing. But anyways, yeah, we're trying this, and hopefully we'll have peppers. I'm not sure what he's going to do when we go away. We'll be away for a week. They'll probably be fine. He'll probably water the crap out of them. And he has them in these great big trays, as you can see. And I believe there are drainage holes in the bottom of the pot. So I think he fills those up with a bit of water in the bottom, like an inch or two. And they, by osmosis, kind of suck it up while we're gone. Yeah. So anyways, it always makes me happy to see green things, especially as we move into the deep, dark days of winter. It's nice to have something growing in your house. Okay, so new products. Didn't buy anything, except we did mention this one yesterday. I bought on a whim from Amazon alien tape. I was a little disappointed when it arrived. It didn't come with an alien, but apparently it doesn't. Walter got talking about this on, what was it, Saturday night, I think? Something about alien tape. And so immediately I'm sitting there going on Amazon, go, oh yeah, 3 10-foot rolls, $19.99. So I immediately bought it. Should have watched the reviews about alien tape on YouTube, because it isn't what they say it will do. It's supposed to stick to almost any surface and hold up to 7 point something pounds, and they were sticking a weight in their advertisement, in the actual advertisement for alien tape. They stick it on a concrete wall, like weights, several of them, like that come from dumbbells, and there they are sticking there. They're showing you sticking pictures on your wall. Well, there was a couple of reviews, and one guy, he does a lot of reviews of things that, you know, you can buy on Amazon or as seen on TV, and alien tape is as seen on TV. And he said, yeah, it might hold the picture up on your wall, but when you go to take it off, you're going to take the wall with it. And he demonstrated this, and oh yeah, painted surfaces, peels the paint right off. So, you know, if you really like that painting or that picture, and you figure you're never going to move it again, then maybe this will work for you. But anyways, we got it, we tried it, it sucks. Yep. Now, having said that, there are some applications that it will work with. Like right now, I have to show you my latest camera. There we go. I now have a camera set up to show my 3D printers, and you can see they're busy this morning. You may hear them in the background. I think I've got a noise suppression on, so you shouldn't really, but there you go. Now, so I took one of my existing cameras that I'm really not using to its full potential, and I moved it to an area so I could show this. But the thing about that with the alien tape is I needed to take the camera down, and it's working dandy for that purpose. And it's not on a painted surface, so I don't have to worry if I move the camera or something, it peeling up and that. But yeah, so that just gives me another camera shot in this room. I think every corner of this room I can show on camera if I wanted to. Anyways, I digress. And apparently this stuff is reusable as well. You just can peel it off, wash it off, let it air dry, and use it again. He showed that, and not so much. So anyways, you may have experienced alien tape. I had not. Sound like a good idea? No, I don't think so. Maybe they call it alien tape because it'll work on other planets, but not on ours. I don't know. Okay, so can I print this 3D effing thing? Yes, I can. And yeah, more articulated little creatures, that move around, that are print in place. I've been having some fun with these, so I'm going to show you what I'm talking about.
One of the type of models I like to print a lot of are articulated animals or creatures, if you wish. And here's some examples of what I'm talking about. Now, these are what are known as print in place, meaning that they print primarily all in one piece. You don't have to do anything special to have their limbs move about, and they're great. Now, my printers can handle this, and I'm using a Creality KE printer, an Ender 3 version 3 KE, and it does a beautiful job, as you can see here. So of course I love the dragons as you get here. And remember, all of these are printed as you see them. They come right off the plate, exactly like this, off the build plate. Same with this one. And these little guys here, these little froggies, they're lots of fun. But I love this. This is my recent find, and it's Pegasus. There's a bunch of them. There's unicorn. It has wings as well. Now, this one is an exception. There are 3 pieces to print on this. The Pegasus himself, and then the wings as well. But the wings all print out all in that one piece, as you see. There's nothing to attach. And the Pegasus body is built for just sticking the wings into the side, and they hold very securely. And of course, this is also articulated. Those legs move, so he can be sitting down. You can pose him, basically. So, a kid would love this. And when I say kid, I mean anybody who has an appreciation for this kind of thing. So I guess there's a little bit of kid in most of us, especially those of us with 3D printers, because as I've always said, 3D printers are toys for big boys and big girls. So yeah, these are a lot of fun. You might want to give them a go if you have a 3D printer.
Now, one thing I forgot, I was going to mention it when I was talking about the weather outside. I took a little video of our first snowfall for the season. It's just a little 20-second video, but I'm going to insert it here now.
Okay, so it's December the 4th, and look what we woke up to. And it's still happening at noon right now. We're having our first major snowfall of the year in our area. It does look pretty, but maybe it'll melt quickly. We can only hope. Walter says it's supposed to melt like next week at some time, so we'll see.
Okay, so that takes us from snowy blasts to blasts from the past. See what I did there? Nice little segue, right? I am a legend in my own mind. Anyways, blasts from the past. Okay, this is Christmas workshop that I gave to some friends here in my house for making some paper items suitable for Christmas. So here it is.
Hi, it's Stephen of Bland Designs, and today what I want to show you is what I've been working on for the last couple of weeks, getting ready for a workshop for some retired teacher friends of mine, and we're doing a Christmas theme. So we have 3 projects on the go. One, we're going to make a Christmas tree out of either a magazine or a book, and I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. We're going to do some 4 different cards that have some unique features to them, especially this little card here, which slides in and slides out. Really cool. And what I call the exploding box, which is not going to be Christmas theme. It's going to be more generic as a gift, but it all opens up like this. So I'll be showing you all of these things in just a minute or two. And all of these things you can find the instructions for on on YouTube. If you look for Christmas tree page folding, I think you should find it there. The cards are my design with the exception of the slider card, and again you can find the instructions on YouTube for that. It's just called the double slider card. And the exploding box, there's plenty of videos about that as well. So what I'm going to do in this video is not talk so much about the the actual step-by-step process on how to make these things, I'm just going to show them to you and give you an overall feel for them, since the instructions for all these things can be found on YouTube easily enough. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so as I mentioned, in my workshop, I'm going to have 3 different projects. Now, we're meeting at 9:30 in the morning, going to 4 o'clock in the afternoon with a break for lunch, so I'm not sure if we're going to get through all these projects or not in that time period, but we'll give it a shot. First one we're going to start with is a book sculpture Christmas tree. Now, I had showed the group my book sculpture, and there's a video on boy, rented lips today, really. It's been a while since I made a video. Anyways, bear with me. I have a video showing book sculpture, which is basically folding pages in certain ways and with an old book. So I found on YouTube several videos that showed you how to fold an old book to get this shape of a Christmas tree. Now, this particular one was my first effort at this. And in this case, what I did was I took an old hardcover book, removed the cover from it, and did the folding, and it doesn't take that long to fold the pages, to create the basic shape. Then I sprayed it with green spray ink to give it its color, and then I just went through my stash drawer and I found different odds and ends of things that I could put together to look like decorations on the tree. I think this one came out maybe a little gaudy. I got a little carried away with my embellishments. So that was my first effort. Then I found a video talking about how to make one of these trees using a magazine. Hope that's all in the shot. And I kind of like this one for the fact that it's taller. Of course, it depends on the size of book that you use as well. I also found folding the pages in a magazine a little easier, especially when you got to the last few pages, than doing it with a book. It wasn't quite as tight. But the one thing I don't like about this, and maybe it had to do with the magazine I picked, I think I used an old Chatelaine that I picked up at Value Village, what I didn't like is trying to get it to fluff out evenly all the way around. Actually, you have the same problem with the other style as well, but then you get this big hole in the back, and I didn't like that. And I still haven't been able to get it to curve around to that, so this one might be best placed in a corner somewhere. Okay, the tree that we're actually going to make is this one. Same technique as using the hardcover book, except this is with a paperback with about 150 to 200 pages. You fold it, you spray it to give it color, and then I just added some beads with a glue gun around it, a little less gaudy than the first one. Really, it'll be up to them how they want to decorate them. And also, you don't get the same gaps as you got with the magazine tree. So that's the first project we're going to be doing, and I'll take some video of the workshop as they're working on it so you can see it in action. The next project at the workshop is going to be the exploding box. Now, originally my intent was to make this into a Christmas theme using double-sided Christmas paper. Have I ever had a lot of problems finding double-sided Christmas paper? Actually, I'm having a lot of problems finding double-sided paper. Michael's used to sell it in pads, but they don't seem to have it anymore, and I don't have access here in my area to a Joann's or a Hobby Lobby or an AC Moore. The only other place is DeSers, and they really don't have a lot of stuff when it comes to scrapbooking paper to choose from. So I guess I'm going to have to resort to getting double-sided paper by ordering it online somewhere. But then I got thinking about it anyways. Why not do a generic exploding box, which they could give as a gift to somebody, but would be appropriate all year round with whatever they want to put inside of it. You can find instructions to how to make one of these on YouTube. I happen to have a Cricut, as you know, and one of the cartridges actually cuts out the layers that you need for making an exploding box. So that's really easy. So what I've created for each person for the workshop is they'll each get a kit that will have all the paper pre-cut for them, and all they'll have to do is assemble it and add the embellishments and inserts to the inside. So if you've never seen an exploding box before, this is what it looks like. It's a box, okay, with a lid, and when you open it up, it explodes. It opens up. Now this one is going to be my prototype, my model for the ladies in the workshop. So it doesn't have anything inside of it yet, but I have created a variety of things that they'll be able to decorate any way they wish, to customize it and to put into the box. But you can see you have all these different layers and it all explodes out. Now I'll show you one here that I made some time ago for myself. Okay, excuse the embellishment on the top. I got a little carried away with one of the Cricut discs. when I made this rosette at the top, and it's a little big, but okay, so it was my first effort. Shoot me. Open it up, and now you can see the embellishments inside, and there's places here to put pictures. I created a little pocket that has a fold-out accordion little page for more pictures or journaling, whatever. Lots of little places in here to put things on, some other shapes, ovals. Here I have another fold-out little thing. And there's several of these as well. So places for pictures, and you'll notice I inked these in different ways, and that's basically what they're going to do. I've cut out all these pieces for them so that they can use various inking methods to customize them for themselves. Here's one that folds out, it's 3 little layers, that kind of thing. So I think this will be a lot of fun, and doing this along with the Christmas tree, I'm not sure how much we're going to get done, but this should be they saw one of these when they were here the last time at my place for the workshop, and they really want to learn how to make one, so we're going to make one. So that's the second project that we're going to be doing. And again, I will take video as the workshop progresses so that you can see what we're doing and how it all works out, and I hope it all works out pretty good. So on to the third project. So the third project in the workshop is to make 4 Christmas cards. Might be a little over ambitious in the time that we will have. But again, I've created kits for them, so if we don't get through all 4 of them, they'll at least have the kit to take home and be able to make the card on their own. The first card is, I call it the Victorian pocket card, or the Noel card. And on this card, you can see I've got 4 vellum envelopes that I cut these with the Cricut and put them together. And to save time in the workshop, I actually made each of them 4 vellum envelopes, and I did the gluing as far as constructing them together. Then they'll be able to print whatever they want across it, as long as it's only 4 letters. That's why I call it the Noel card. And inside are little tags, and these are actually glued in. They don't come out, but I've pre-cut those, and I found a whole bunch of images on Google Images of Victorian Christmas cards, and so I cut out a bunch of pictures from those. I printed them, sized them down to fit, and they'll be able to pick from a selection of about 20 of these, 4 they like. And then there's some butcher's cord here. The background is simply a piece of card cut a little smaller than the main card, inked the edges with that, and I stamped using a text stamp in the background. Inside we have a card with a stamp, and I have a lot of different Christmas stamps, so they can choose whatever they like as an image. They'll be able to put a seasonal greeting if they wish and put it on here whatever way they like. Here I colorized this a little bit with a wash from a watercolor crayon. So I'm just going to show them how they can do that, but they can do whatever method they want depending on the stamp that they want to put in here. So that's one of the cards. Second card, get it unstuck here, is very basic. We're going to use the Cuttlebug embossing folders to emboss, and then I'm going to show them how to use ink to ink around the edges and to ink the raised relief that's here. We're also going to show them how to do some embossing using embossing powder and a heat gun to make these snowflakes. And I've done pre-cutting of all these elements. Again, it's a kit to save time. They'll be able to do inking to stamp a message, whatever they wish to stamp there, and glue it down. And on the inside, this one's kind of a 3D. So it has a little tree in the back. Again, it went through the Cuttlebug embossing folders, and I did some inking on that. And I have pre-cut this piece that they'll glue in, but they'll decorate it with stamps, whatever way they like. And then we have a little ornament we hang from the window, a little star for the top of the tree. I call that the Christmas window card. So that's card number 2. Card number 3, I call it the Victorian Christmas card. This one's fairly simple and fast to make. It's got the basic elements, you know, a background onto the basic cardstock. I use some little corner pieces, gold ones, these are photo corners, right, to add a little accent. And then I've cut out for them a variety of, again, some of those vintage Victorian Christmas card images. And they're just going to tear them and then ink them and place them on here. And I've also given them a page out of a book that I have pre-dyed with walnut ink. And again, they'll just rip it and edge it with some ink and add it to that. I've included a little button that I've cut the shank off at the back, and they'll be able to glue that on wherever they like on the front. And the inside, again, the same idea. Background of text paper that's been aged. We've got the Victorian Christmas card all ripped out kind of a thing, and then they can put a sediment in here and do whatever they like. The last one is probably the coolest one. This is the double slider card, and they asked me to show them how to make this because I showed them one the last workshop sort of as a teaser. And so we're going to make this one. This one's going to be the hardest one to teach them how to make, I think, because it's a little tricky getting the track inside. But if you do a search on YouTube videos, you will, under double slider card, you will find how to do this. And once you've made one or two of them, it's pretty easy. So all it is, it's one piece, and the neat thing is, you pull this, and you get this. And when you see, we'll be using, I have tags pre-cut for them for all of this. I've pre-cut all the parts. They can pick the rubber stamps they want to use and the colors they want to use. And they do some inking on the card, add some bows, and there it is. So this one's really cool. And it just slides back in here as well. Now, I had thought about doing some envelope making because I've got my We Are Memory Makers envelope punch board. And we might, but I have a feeling on this day we're not going to have a lot of time for this. And the problem too is when you get together with a group of retired teachers, people that I used to work with, well, we do a lot of talking too. So that eats up in the time as well. So anyways, that's what I have planned. And as I said, I'll post a short video showing the workshop in action for you as well. So enjoy.
So that takes me to events in the past week. Well, the big event this week was my Idiot Quilter Pop-Up Sew Day Christmas Edition. We'll talk more about that tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter, but we had prizes. We had a special little treat. One of my subscribers came on who's does a lot of period reenactments. She specializes in Viking kind of reenactments, and she was at a reenactment on the weekend, and she took us there with her live. That was pretty cool. It was really neat to see. So that was there. We had, as I said, prizes. Everybody got a prize. Yes, they did. And yeah, we just had a great time sewing and sharing and talking and a little bit. I think at the height of it, we had about 40 people, which was really great. So, yeah, we'll talk more about that tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter. And we'll talk more about plans for pop-up sew days in the new year. Okay, and I thought our neighborhood is all lit up. I'm sure in most neighborhoods they are right now. And some people go over the top with their decorations. We've got some nice displays, but most people are fairly conservative here. Like, we don't have the houses that flashlights to heavy rock music or anything like that happening. That always fascinates me. I would love to do that, but I don't know how. And also, from what I hear, you have to start putting your lights up in September for some of those displays. But I thought you might like to see what we see here in the neighborhood. Just a short little video, just in our immediate area, including our own place with Christmas lights. So I did a little video outside, and I'm going to insert that here.
So it's a snowy evening out here, and you can see all our Christmas lights are on, and the neighbors all have their Christmas lights on. And our neighbors over here have their big inflatables all up too while this year. And then of course across the road, a big display over here. So yeah, everybody on this street gets very festive.
So that's it for me today. So I hope you have a good week. Tune in to Idiot Quilter tomorrow. And So Chatty at the end of the week. And on So Chatty this week, I already mentioned that we have finished the series on doing the In the Hoop 3D projects, the Gingerbread Windmill. We have a Santa sack to open. So it is from one of the local quilt shops here. I get it. I've been getting it. This will be the third year. It's set up a little differently than the Advent boxes or things like that. They don't do it day by day. It's all in one big bag. that they make, and they embroider the bag. You'll see all of that on Friday. I have not opened it yet. I have not peeked. I do not know what's in it. So Walter and I will be seeing it at the same time and giving you our thoughts and feelings about these items as well. So that's going to be fun. And that's this coming Friday on So Chatty. Okay, well, that's it. Do check out the on Christmas unboxings of the Missouri Star Quilt. It's hard to say. Christmas box that Stephanie and I have been doing. Links are in the show notes for those. And have a great week. And we'll see you later. Bye for now.